Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. Shout out to Previews World. Shout out to 1000 Toys. It's for sending me over Sage of the Halo after we hit some snags with the whole container shipping delay thing. They got over a sample so that I can review it early, so I want to say thank you to them. So yes, let's get started on Sage of Halo. Man, I love the Rio. I have it on perma display in my shelf, and I believe Sage is gonna go up there too because I have a 100% nostalgia bias for Ronin Warriors. I really do. Me and my best friend Shamel, we used to watch it all the time, and it just hits a spot for me. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. Here we are with Sage of the Halo, not armored version. We're gonna get a nice close-up look, looking real good. We have that that hair over the eyes, and just in case you're curious if he has both eyes, the answer is yes. Just want to answer that one right out the gate. But I love that the hair is covering the eye, just like on the character. We kept it 100, and it's really cool. Now, in our base form, we have a lot of articulation for these guys, and I think that's pretty cool because they actually did fight without their fully complete armor. This gave them some protection against base characters and little minions and things like that. So it'll look really cool. And then when you armor them up, it'll look even better. So let's talk about articulation without armor. As you can see here, we have a nice rotation. Our neck doesn't have a crazy joint because if you pull it up, as you can see here, it's on a long peg, but it does have a ball joint at the bottom that allows for movement. So as you can see, you can still get quite expressive. Once you get that helmet on, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Our shoulder pads come up. This is going to be very important for when we have the armor on. We have a nice rotating butterfly joint that can rotate around 360, and our arms can go around 360. So all of these things kind of factor into that armor. This is the way it was engineered for. As you can see, we can rotate our chest around. This is going to be hindered when we have our front armor on, obvious reasons. We even have some lower movement. Our legs can rotate all the way through and around. So we can even go outward. We are double jointed as well too. We have we hit a really great acute angle, and our ankle pivot is beautiful. So like I said, it's almost like Sen-Ti-Nel built in a lot of range outside the big bulky armor. So that way we have a lot of movement going outward. So that way you can even capture poses for when they do their transformation. So when you get to those hands and you do the transformation movement, which you can actually kind of really see here. I don't have the hands on, but even with our closed fist, you can do the henshin sequence. So this is really nice to see. I like the fact that we can do all of this, and it really does kind of add that nostalgia factor for me, and I really like that. So look, it looks like I mean, honestly, the photos that I'm going to get out of just the non-armor stuff is going to be fantastic, because I want them to go up against Cogs, and you can go up against Ninja and Hellfire Goons, all sorts of army builders. That way you can just have some fun, right? We just look absolutely fantastic. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to talk about putting the armor on, and we're going to talk about the stuff that he comes with. But why break that up into two things when you can do it as you're putting it on? So let's try to have some fun and do that a little differently. So let's get to that. All right, so what I've done is that I've put the armor on screen because we're going to go through it from top to bottom, and anything that we don't have to put on, I'm going to talk about first so we can talk about that. So here we have an alternate faceplate looking off to the side, looking really cool and smirking, which is really cool because once you get that hair over the eye, it looks even cooler. We have our yelling face, a solid good one. It's very anime centric. We have our armored mass face. Then we have our hair, which is going to go into our helmeted head. We'll get to that in a second. Then we have hands. So we have our sword holding hands. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong sword holding hand. We have our small item holding hands, and the reason why I'll talk about this in a second is because this one is going to hold stuff like when you want to talk about holding crap, it's not the scabbard, this part of the sword that ends in between the hilt and the actual blade. I forgot the name of it, and I just had it in my head. You have your open action palms. Did you see here? And then you have your big sword holding hands. These ones have a larger grip than the previous ones, as you can see here. And that's because the hilt of the sword can actually be reversed and be used as a spear. Or you can hold it backhanded, whichever one you want. Now, with our sword, what's really cool about it is, even without its hilt, there is a second guard that you can kind of slide in. And it's even showed in the instructions that you can hold it to help you dual wield. So you can hold it with this one as well as the other hand in case you need to dual wield this and this one. I actually forgot all about it when I was done in the show. I really did. So let's actually remove this and let's show the sword together. Now we have our nice big sword. Looking real good. I cannot wait to like show this off together with the armor. Really so excited for it. This is really a really fun nostalgia factor for me. So bear with me. And now we're going to talk about our armor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the head off. I'm going to pull up ever so gently. We're going to take off our shoulder parts. Oop. And this is where it always gets scary for me. But I was pulling outward when you need to pull upward. So pull upward. Please remember to do so. It actually comes out a lot easier that way. We're going to remove the side armor pieces that we have right there. And now we're going to start putting together. Oh, wait. Don't forget you have to remove these. It's very important for when you place the armor feet on. So let's start from the top. Here we have our helmet. We are going to place the hair into the bottom. If you feel like it's a little too tricky for you, I recommend you use some tweezers. I'm just gonna use my hand. Oop. Or am I gonna use tweezers? Nope, I'm gonna use my hand. Lined it up right there just like that. And then I'm going to place the plated head in there. Oop, I'm tripping. I was supposed to open this up. Sorry about that. And then we are going to place our helmeted head in. Oop, sorry, it's going to match right on top of here. Sorry about that. I get nervous on camera sometimes, so please bear with me. As you can see, we have that. Now we have it placed inside. And boom. Now it looks really good. So let's put it on. I was gonna wait, but I want to put it on. So as you can see, it actually looks like it's bigger and bulkier now that it's on there. Without the rest of the armor, it just doesn't look the same. So now we're gonna drop down with our shoulders. You're gonna just line that up on there. The shoulders definitely gonna add more girth to it, as you can see here. And once we put our chest piece on from the front, this is where it really starts to come together. We're gonna hold this in place because now we're gonna place the back on. And you're going to make sure that these line up so that way they close and snap in. You heard that? Now it's really, really starting to come together. Now we're going to place on this armor for the arm. Now we are going to place on the side skirts and our front piece. So with the side skirt, this one will seem a little tricky, but it's really not. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you plug these two in by the sides together. And they will line up, protecting the character. And you have to make sure that they are together, not somewhat together. Because what's going to happen is when you put the piece that's going to lock it in together, that will come apart. And that's not what you want. See here, I'm having a little trouble in the beginning because I can't see both ends. And that's okay, because what you can do is, you can always refer to the instructions. But I'm going to try to do it without. Because, you know what? Let's first demonstrate. Oh, wait, I'm doing something wrong. So, yeah, I did a little something wrong. So, let's fix that. I had to go back and refer to the instructions myself. So, let's match these guys up. These guys are supposed to sit close to each other. And I believe I'm doing something wrong. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move downward and then come back to it because I want his feet to stand up. So let's do that. We're going to put on our armor. That's magnetized, and I have that upside down. There we go. And then we're going to put on our bottom of our feet, which are going to slide right in. And I don't mind getting something wrong. I've only did this once off screen, and I thought I had it. But here I am testing it out with you guys. And I like to do that because a little trial and error helps everyone. And as you can see, we're looking a little naked right now, but that's okay. We're gonna add the rest of that armor so we can kind of get to what's going on. Try to figure out what's going on. So let's refer back to the instructions. So left and right. And then we're gonna place it in the front. So what I wasn't doing is properly, is I wasn't lining it up right here. So let's change that. So let's make sure I have it right. There we go. It actually does form in. And then it's supposed to lock in the front. So we make sure it's the right piece. So yeah, what happened was I was not locking something up properly. Let's rotate these arms backwards so we get a better view of what's going on. There we go. Oop, magnets, lost it. So we have our front on. So let's come around the back and lock this piece up to kind of round out this nice armor. You're going to lift up, slide in, because this will allow the mechanism in the back to lock. Because without that, what happens is you lose a little bit of room to do what you need to do. Like I said, these need to lock up in the back. There we go. Got that. Oop, no, hold on. Oop, there we go. That was my fault, y'all. But yeah. And now we have our Sage of the Halo armor. So this kind of worked it. Ooh, this looks really good. I really like how this looked. Like, it doesn't seem like much, but I really like how this came out. Because it went from like the skinny guy under the armor, and now you look a lot better armored. I really like how this came out. Now, as far as storage for the sword, and this is why I wanted to show the sword too, is that there is going to be an opening in the back of the armor. In that back of the armor, I need to double check because I've never actually put that on beforehand. I was too excited to get this review done. So, let's actually talk about this. Oh, okay. I didn't notice that before. That's pretty cool. So we're going to take the head off, and on the back of the back plate, right, there was an opening that you're going to use, that you need to take off the back plate for beforehand. I kind of messed up with that one. That's on me. There we go. So there is going to be an opening that you can plug through. I do not have any tweezers with me. So we are going to use our little star here. We're going to gently poke it out. There will be an opening here. And there will be a replacement part. And that is for the storage on the back of him. That will plug in. This piece will allow you to storage the sword. So you can store it two ways. You can have it hang down, which obviously it will drag to the floor if depending on your surface, but it's meant to survive. Let's actually pop it on and see what happens. There we go. We've locked in our armor. We have him standing straight up. And now on my flat surface, it does not touch the floor, which is cool. So depending on what you're doing, it won't touch the floor. But if you're scared of that, you can actually rotate it to the side and it will hang out. You can actually rotate it, fix it up, boom, and it'll hold. So let's put the rest of the sword together to show you that. And then pop our helmet back on. And now we have a fully armored version of Sage, and it's coming out. Looking real nice. Ooh, this is so good. Now, we are going to talk about articulation with the armor on, because I really want to talk about that as well too. And honestly, you don't lose any of the arm articulation for the double joints. None is lost. No mobility loss. But because of our shoulders, when we rotate up, it's looking like you may lose a little bit of mobility. But I want to... Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong, y'all. I was wrong. You don't lose any mobility. I was wrong. I was wrong. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. This is looking like it all depends on how you're going to move it around. But as far as really losing anything, I don't think you're going to lose anything. I think at most you'll lose some head articulation, depending on how you are going to move the helmet. But legs is looking like going outward. You'll lose some articulation, but it won't be anything crazy. Our magnets are actually much tighter this time around as well too. Yeah, you're just going to lose some helmet articulation because, right, so right here where you put your regular shoulder at, and I'm sorry this review is so long, but this is crazy because even up here, there is an extra shoulder pad that I didn't even realize is on top of the other shoulder pad. So look, that rotates out. So you really, in all honesty, don't lose any movement whatsoever. And I didn't even notice that. I really didn't until just now. So you can fold your arms out even further and have tons of movement. I knocked that off by accident. I'm a little too excited because I didn't notice it the first time putting the armor on. I really didn't. So you can get very articulated. So it's almost like they took whatever they couldn't do on Rio and really went and modified it to make sure it worked for Sage. That means technically he can reach over his own back now and reach for the sword. Things that I was worried about before aren't a concern anymore. They're really not. So outside of being like pointy and fragile right here, I don't think you'll have a problem really posing this guy up once you get his armor on. So again, this is amazing. This really is amazing. Like, this is my nostalgia factor times 100, and it's met very nicely. So this is dope as hell. And then we still have to talk about the fact that you can take your armor off and place it to be sitting down here, which means I got to get an extra just so I can have one with the armor on at all times and one here for the armor sitting. So yes, I am super duper excited for this. Sorry, my hands were muffled because I'm losing it at how much fun this is going to be. And now you've captured it. You've captured how I feel. Also, for when you have the armor on, here is a silhouette version of the mask to be on when you use the silhouette for the armor. And I did not realize just how much fun that I would have doing this on camera with you guys. I was very nervous about doing that. And hopefully you guys will understand, like, that was trial and error. But this is just outright amazing. Like, so yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Before we go, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the size comparison. We're going to compare with the size of the armor on, and we'll use Rio, who I have here on the side, for a size comparison without the armor on. So let's get ready to jump into that. And now it's time for the size comparison. This is where it gets fun for both me and for you guys. But yeah, so first thing, let's compare it to, I don't know what. I don't know what. Listen, you know what? Let's go with another import. Let's do SHF Kamen Rider Kuga, so we can see how the SHF stuff stacks up next to it. And as you can see, Kuga is a little bit smaller. That's okay. Here we have a Hasbro G.I. Joe Flint, showing you that domestics are a tad bit bigger. Here we are with an articulated Icons Ninja, or in this case, a Master. Oop. I don't know what's up with everybody lately. Well, then again, it's kind of hot today. Here we are with a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. You can see domestics are bigger. Here we are with some Hasbro Lightning Collection. Here's a Time Force Red. And then here is a Cog, which I'm probably going to use to battle these guys, because they just look really cool there, right? Next up, let's do Mafex Hush, so we can compare another Japanese title. See how he stacks up, right? What could I, oh, Mythic Legions and a Mezco. So here's Mythic Legions Purple Ore. And then here is a Mezco Batman Beyond, the closest Mezco I have right now, right? But I wanted to finish off this one with some nostalgia. So I decided to throw in, because we all know and love Toonami, at least most of us do. And here is an SH Figuarts Sailor Moon to fill in some nostalgia. And then here is a Super Saiyan Goku. So you can really fill out your Toonami block and know that, yeah, if you have some sort of connection to this, I hope this makes you feel good, knowing that a lot of our childhood toys are either coming back or, you know, they're here to stay. Like the fan base is strong enough to bring back really cool things for all of us. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for enjoying, most of all. Thank you for sticking it out as I did the play-by-play with you guys, so that way no one gets a little confused about anything, hopefully, when you watch this video. As always, please be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.